Fairly similar to the other caravan I would expect. Your hitch there, again similar. The only thing probably different is going to be this, which is the stabiliser. But if you've read up much before you've bought this one or not? Or?
No, not really.
No, not really, okay. So the stabiliser, as obviously the name suggests, it stabilises the caravan by use of friction on pads, which attaches to obviously with your tow ball. Okay, so when it's in that position, that's kind of locking it on the tow ball. What it's there for is to slow down the movement of pitching and yawing. Okay, it won't cut out everything. Obviously, if you load it badly, obviously twin axle is a lot more stable than a single axle.
Yeah.
But if you put a load of weight at the back of the caravan, obviously it can start doing that tail wagging. Okay, so as long as you obviously make sure you load it correctly, so things like awning, anything heavy goes over the axles, anything light you can put anywhere else, but make sure keeping anything heavy load over the axle. Okay?
Yep.
These probably sort of similar.
Yeah.
Handbrake, jockey wheel.
Yep. Is that a lock, is it? So
Yeah, well that's the handle when it clamps down onto your tow ball, that will click in.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will do that and that clamps it to the tow ball. This just stops it from the movement.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll show you that when we connect up. Okay, I'll leave it there for now.
Yeah.
Okay, so your electrics. Okay, so the black one is mainly your lights on the van.
Yep.
The grey one is for charging the battery and operating your fridge off your vehicle with electrics.
Yep.
Okay. Gas locker, I've got some of your started packing there already. So you've got your cable, got your toilet chemicals and your wastewater pipe.
Yep.
Gas connected on propane. Okay, you've got onboard regulator where probably before you had the regulator attached to the cylinder.
Yeah, it was.
It's actually attached to the caravan now.
Yep.
Okay, you can use propane or butane on them. The only difference would be if you wanted to use butane, you'd have to have a different gas tail. Okay, because it's got a different fitting to fit on top of butane. Well, as you've got propane, I wouldn't expect you to change across to butane, really.
Yeah.
With the propane, you can use that all year round.
Yeah.
Butane tends to be more of a summer gas. It doesn't tend to gas off below a certain temperature. I think it's around about 4 degrees. So, best to stick to propane and use that all year round.
Grand.
Okay. So, leveling the caravan. Are you happy to level the caravan?
Yeah, I think I had a little level last time. But,
So you got a spirit level.
I got
Yeah, that's the best thing to do. So, if you obviously leveling the caravan is obviously very important. One, obviously for drainage, obviously out your sinks.
Yeah.
If you've got the plug hole there and the sinks that kind of angle, not going down the hole. Also, certain appliances don't like it being on too much of an angle. Also, they don't like.
So you know them little ones, the little triangle ones?
Yeah.
You put it here or just somewhere?
Yeah, you can put it there. You can put it anywhere as long as it's on a flat surface.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see it.
Okay.
Okay. Side to side, you need leveling blocks. So if you go on a pitch that's side to side, slightly wonky, obviously you need blocks to lift the one side of the caravan or the other. You can either use wooden blocks or you can get these plastic triangular ramp things.
See, I think you've got something fitted to it. Are they,
No,
are they
they-
any good,
these-
or you need more than that? Yeah.
Yeah. No, all they do is just steady. They're just feet.
Okay.
These plastic ramps are what you actually need to drive on,
Yeah.
as if you're keeping it on site or you're touring with it.
No, we're going to tour with it.
You go to it, yeah. So it maybe tends to be. You find that hard standings tend to be level side to side.
Yeah.
From front to back, they tend to be a bit can be sloped. On grass, obviously, it can be quite uneven. So you may need to lift one side of the caravan or the other to be able to get it level.
Yeah.
And the only way of doing that is by driving it up a plastic ramp or onto wooden blocks. Okay. Don't lift it using the legs, because they're not there to do that. Okay, so especially if you get a puncture, they're not there to lift it up so you can change your wheel.
Yeah.
So you got the strain of that, and it could end up obviously damaging the chassis. Okay,
Okay.
right, we'll go around this side here. Debris from the field is all flopping about in the wind. Okay, so water pump, which obviously isn't not a water pump. It's just a dip tube. Now you probably had the pump on your last one.
Yeah.
The pump is actually on board. To connect it, you just click it in. To disconnect it, you just pull the trigger there and slide it out.
Yep.
Okay. So you'll obviously make sure that's connected with obviously full alcohol when you're using it. This is your vent on hot water on gas. Okay, and that's the cover for it.
Yep.
It won't allow you to light the gas if the cover's on, so it'll just shut it off.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You don't need to use, yeah, on electric it's okay. Get your battery fitted. This is my cable here just to connect up to electric to obviously show you everything up and running inside.
Yeah.
Okay. Always connect it to the van first, then to the bollard second. If you connect it to the bollard first, obviously the cable is then live.
Yeah.
So if you're draining it across wet grass and you've got a cut in it or whatever, obviously you don't know about it, you could get a shock. So always connect it to the caravan first. Okay. There's noise going on. Right, toilet. This is your flush tank. So it's just a vessel for holding the flush tank. Pink chemical goes in there.
Yeah.
Okay, with water. This is your waste tank for your toilet.
Yep.
So it's probably something similar to what you probably had before.
Yep.
Important that you drain your flush tank for winter. There's a little drain there. So what you can do is, that's the drain there, this little plug.
Yeah.
You can drain most of it off by just dropping it into your waste tank if you wanted to. But the last bit, just drain it out through there.
Okay.
Okay, it's the same with the rest of your water system as well. I'll show you the drains for that in a minute. It's the same
That's
with the
just through the winter, is it? So,
yeah.
or would you drain it off after each time you've used it?
No, I
Still for a
wouldn't.
bit?
No. Oh, if it's going to stand for a bit, perhaps.
Yeah.
But your flush tank's not so important. You can leave with some in that anyway. But
Yeah.
with your main water system, you may like the hot water tank. Best to drain it if you are going to leave it for a bit. Obviously, got a bit stale, obviously sitting there. Wastewater outlet. Okay, so obviously you got your grey pipes connecting there into your waste master.
Yeah.
Okay, happy with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just mind yourself on this box. There we go. And obviously purchase if you connect with that.
Tell you what we haven't got.
Got a license plate?
I haven't got the number plate.
We'll have to go and get one.
Yeah.
Mind you, we haven't got the stuff for it, have we?
You obviously need your documents for your car to.
I know where it is though. I know where it is.
Okay. Well, if you come round here, you've got the outlet here inside your awning. Okay. So if you want to plug anything in your awning, obviously don't take things away like a domestic fridge, like I've seen some person doing, and tripping off the whole line of bollards. Not just their bollard, they trip the whole line of bollards. They take a domestic fridge this big. How they got it there, I don't know. Really. Massive. Very important this. Obviously I've got my torque spanner next to it.
Yep.
Make sure you check your wheel nuts before you go away each time.
Yep.
There's 115 I think on this one Newton meters. Okay, so I will check them before you leave. If you're a member of the Caravan Club or camping in the Caravan Club, if you've seen a recent magazine where a member had, obviously nobody you see on an invoice after you've had a service, normally says at the bottom it should recheck your wheel nuts after about 30 miles. He'd seen this, but obviously never acted on it. And then this particular time it caught him out and he'd been going down the road and the wheel had come off. Obviously damaged all the wheel arch, and obviously damaged the chassis as well because obviously that would have been dragging along the road as well. So obviously that's very important. If you take the wheel off again, make sure you torque it up again after about 30 miles.
Yeah.
But make sure you do that before each time you go away. Okay, I will check that before you leave. Okay, so as the last check before you go away. Okay? Right, if you'd like to go inside.
Right, can you go and sit down now, please? Cameron, go sit down.
Right, obviously I put the radio on obviously just to show you. Probably the kids are playing with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you come into the van, the first thing you see is your control panel. Okay, so you got vehicle battery, caravan battery. So if you decide you leave it connected to the car, you could run it off the car battery if you really wanted to, but I wouldn't. Because if you flat the car battery, you're in trouble because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So always make sure it's connected to the battery. Okay?
Yeah.
That's your pump switch. That's the indicator saying 240 is connected. And that is there to check. It's showing you voltage at the moment. So also because you've got an onboard tank, it shows you the level of your tank as well, which is 0 at the moment. Okay?
Onboard tank as in?
A freshwater tank.
Ah, right.
You've got a freshwater tank under this floor there.
Yeah.
Which I'll show you that in a second. Okay?
Yeah.
Right, also, all the switches we have got. Just line up. Under here, got your electrics and 240. Your trip switches.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you can see, there's 3 switches running across the bottom. Battery charges on the right. Okay, so if that's switched on, as soon as you plug 240 in, it will start charging your battery.
Okay.
Okay, water heater on electric, space heater on electric. So what you definitely don't want to do is leave that water heating switch on if your water tank is empty. If you imagine boiling a kettle with no water in, that's what's going to happen, and you're going to damage your element. Okay? So what I'll do now, I'll run through filling your water system up. Okay, so before you switch, obviously you wouldn't switch the water pump on straight away. Make sure before you do that, all drains are closed. Okay, so down here, which is a bit difficult to see, lift that up. You can see down there, there's a yellow lever. Can you see that?
Yeah.
By that little black box.
Yeah.
That is to release all the water out of the hot water tank and the rest of your water system. Okay, so it needs to be, that's the closed position.
Yeah.
To drain it, it has to be pointing upwards. Okay? So that's one point, make sure that is shut. Make sure all the taps are shut.
Yeah.
Okay, and the tap's in the correct position. You can see that one, that can actually move. So if you just move the tap now, the actual the tap bit itself, you know,
that way.
No, the big
the big
that,
that's it.
yeah,
See where that can go? Obviously,
Yeah.
if that's in the wrong place, and you've left the tap open for drainage, you switch the water pump on, you're going to have water everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And also, because we've got an onboard tank,
Cameron, you need to move out the way
that's
though.
it. I'm just going to lift this bit up.
Andrew, move.
Okay. Right, down here is your access to your onboard tank.
Right.
The access required is because there's a bung inside it. Okay. If you can see down there, there's a little bung. It's like a plug.
Yeah.
So if you want to use the onboard tank, you make sure that plugs in.
Okay.
If you're not using the onboard tank, you don't need to worry about that. Okay. If you
Your
just
onboard
were
tank,
just using the
you go
aqua.
to a site without any sort of fresh water.
Well, no, you can use it any time if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you use the onboard shower, the more water you've got, obviously the better, because obviously you can soon empty an Aquarol, which is only 40 litres.
Yeah.
You imagine you've got that as well. You
Yeah.
can change as someone's showering. You can change from, if you run out of water, obviously, swap from one tank to the other. So you've got a continuous amount of water for, say, nearly 80 litres. Okay. So that's obviously that is important to drain in the winter. So obviously make sure you pull that plug in the winter as well. And then under the front flap is more controls for water. You can see there's obviously an info note on the front edge of that door there.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got a white one. Hold on, I'll just switch that on. Goodbye to blank one. Right. The white one changes in between what you're using, the onboard tank or not onboard tank, and also you got the black one as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to use just the water supply from the outside to your taps, so not using that at all, it's in that position there. Okay, so run the taps from external supply. The white one is pointing in line,
Yeah.
and the black one is shut off. Okay? So you want to run the taps, or you want to fill the tank, so the onboard tank from outside, they both need to be in line.
Okay.
So that one is the black one is physically shutting off the water tank, so obviously you need that to be open to allow the water to go into that.
Yeah.
Then when you want to pull the water from the onboard tank, so you're not using it from outside, you're using the one inside, you have to change the white lever to up and the black one across.
Okay.
Okay, so it shows you there, luckily, so you can obviously, it's easy to do. But if you just want to use the Aquarol outside and not the onboard tank, it's in that position there.
Okay.
Okay, so once we've got them in position, then we can fill the hot water tank. So normally, if you drain your hot water tank, obviously it's going to be full of air. So yellow lever shut,
Yeah.
them levers in that position, then we can switch the water pump on. Obviously check all taps before we do that as well, in the bathroom as well. So to switch the water pump on, you just press that, red light's on. Okay, all you do is just operate your tap. Obviously I've primed it already. It's now pulling the water from the Aquarol outside. To fill your hot water tank, obviously if you drained it previously, it's going to be full of air, so it's empty. Turn the tap to the hot side and obviously open it up. What you will be then doing, drawing the water from outside into your hot water tank and pushing the air out through your tap. So we've got some hot water already. Okay, so when you first start off, it's just going to be spluttering because obviously it's pushing the air out.
Empty.
Okay, once you've got a solid stream like that, you know you've got the air out. Okay, so also your hot tank's full. Do the same with each tap to make sure you get all the air out of the system.
Yeah.
Okay, so you happy with that bit?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the hot water tank is where? It's just built
It's
in.
it's in that corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So obviously you can see we've got some steam. So obviously I've had it up and running already to make sure everything's all fired
How
up.
long does that sort of take to heat, or is it?
Half an hour-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, half an hour. All depends on how warm the day is, but you can soon fire it up on gas and electric.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll show you how to heat it next. Okay, you've got two options, or three options.
You can feel it under there. We know. Sit down,
Yeah,
it's
you
fine.
can feel the heat. Right, so what we got is on the front of your consumer board.
Yeah.
You've got that's for electric. Okay, so water heater switch there.
Yeah.
That's electric on your water.